It's 8:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. A toddler's been killed and her 11-month-old brother is fighting for life after their car crashed down an embankment in the Upper Hunter last night. The 2-year-old girl died at the scene on the New England Highway at Willow Tree. Her baby brother is in a critical condition in the John Hunter, while their mother is listed in a stable condition in Tamworth Base Hospital. Inspector Kylie Ndemi says it was one of the most horrific crashes she's seen, and it's taken a toll on all those involved,
including the passers-by and the witnesses who stopped to render assistance to these victims.
It's been revealed the much-anticipated Lower Hunter Hospital at Metford could be years away. The leaseholder of Crown land chosen as the site for the hospital says remediation of the former quarry and brickworks on the property will take many years. It's cast doubt on the Baird government's promise before the March election to start work within 4 years. Restoration on Newcastle City Hall is set to begin early next year. Work is already underway on the clock tower, with restoration expected to be completed before the end of the year. The next phase of the work will include the removal of asbestos from existing mortar joints, replacement and repair of sandstone, and the restoration of metal windows, timber doors and decorative outdoor lights. Greg Sainsbury from Newcastle City Council says they're awaiting approval to continue the restoration.
We are looking at the next phase of the work as well on the southern facade. We're pending funding approval as it goes through council, and the process that goes through that, we'll be looking to starting on that in the near future.
A Newcastle councillor has come out in support of Newcastle and Lake Macquarie councils merging. Brad Luke has told the Herald it's a no-brainer which would deliver substantial benefits to ratepayers. He believes those fighting against the merger are just worried about losing their jobs. Both councils are opposed to amalgamating. The Royal Institute for Deaf and Blind Children is calling for more teleschools in the Hunter region to provide children with therapy, education and clinical services in their own home. The Institute recently raised $50,000 for 5 new cameras, providing families with access to services otherwise not available without video conferencing technology. Chief Executive Chris Wren says rural communities will have better access to teleschools.
We can see a child now mitigate their disability through starting early as possible and journeying with them with the right services. Now, historically, those children who live in those more remote locations have missed out or had to travel extensive distances, which are very problematic to families.
Pedestrians now have another way to get over the Newcastle Rail Corridor. A new crossing is opening up today, allowing people to get between the Foreshore and Derby Street without having to use the nearby footbridge. It's the 6th crossing. A 7th is planned at Civic Station, connecting the two platforms.
Sport for our sponsor, Warners Bay Sports Club, Fishing Expo, September 13.
Newcastle Knights halfback Tyrone Roberts will depart at the end of this season after being released from the final year of his contract. The 24-year-old made his NRL debut with the Knights in 2011 and has since played more than 90 first-grade games. He's set to join the Gold Coast Titans in 2016. Adamstown's Rory Walker is preparing to represent Australia in the all-schools under-16 hockey side. The 16-year-old earned his selection after impressive efforts for New South Wales earlier this month. Walker will tour South Africa midway through next year. And Newcastle cricketers Jason Sangha, Andrew Somerville, Peter McCready and Griffin Lee will compete in the New South Wales Under-17 State Challenge this weekend in a bid to take part in the National Championships in Brisbane next month. To NURFM News Time, 26 to 9.